All right, this is the Mushi sword from the Mystery Skulls animated series, and I have just constructed the 3D printed plastic stencil for the snowflakes. All right, so here we go. Now, this is the third set of stencils that I've done. This is the fourth version of the sword. And the snowflakes have a lot of independent parts, which need to be held in place by these arches. So I've now glued together all the segments. But what I did first was I used these balsa wood blocks to glue the segments together so that no glue would touch the joining areas, because I wanted to assemble this directly on top of the naked sword blade. Now, the reason I wanted to do that is that the last time around I did this with wax paper, and there was a lot of waviness in places where it's really important that the stencil get as close to the sword blade as possible. Now you can see here the balsa wood strip that I used to close that gap on the edge, and that's to keep paint from overspraying and bleeding over. Okay, so basically the stencil kind of clips onto the blade, and the only part that doesn't really stay down is this front end here. But that's not super important on this side because the closest pattern is that little oval right there, and that's quite a ways from the front end here. All right, so let's take a look down the blade here. I previously mentioned how I had to cut some of these parts and angle them and then re-glue them in place so that they would match the angle change on the blade face. So this is what this stencil looks like when it's completed. Now if I pop this off, see if I can do this one-handed. Okay, it's going to be a little bit difficult to pop off one-handed, so give me a sec. All right, so I've now popped off the stencil. Let's see what that looks like on the inside there. And I wanted to make sure that no cyanacrylate glue got through these joints here. So I need those angles. I wanted them to stay clean. When I glued these together over wax paper, they did not stay clean. Now look at this side. I just glued the outside closed. So after I got all the balsa wood supports holding everything in place, I went across the entire stencil and glued all the pieces together on the outside only. All right, so you've seen what this looks like on the sword blade and off. Now I need to build the other side. And here we have all the stencil parts for the right side of the blade. And I'm going to do those next, and maybe I can set up a time lapse so you can see what it looks like.